This video serves as the Week 4 Conceptual Learning Summary Assignment submission for Travis Cryan to the Strategic Planning course at American Military University on May 3, 2015. The purpose of this assignment is to discuss two strategic planning concepts and how they relate to actual practice in an organization. With that in mind, this video will cover four main sections. These include a discussion of the business model canvas, a discussion of the SWOT analysis method, an introduction to the Metrolina Healthcare Preparedness Coalition, and finally how the Metrolina Healthcare Preparedness Coalition utilizes these planning tools to move itself forward. To understand the business model canvas, first we should look at the general concept of business modeling. Unfortunately, the concept seems to be lacking a uniform or universally accepted definition and is frequently interchanged with the business strategy concept, according to Tremi and Berbagal-Mirabent in their 2012 research. Additional research in 2013 by Leschke points out that a business model should be designed to highlight the vision behind how an idea could be developed into a more structured plan or business, how the process might play out, but not need all of the finer details of an actual business plan. In short, it should be an overview. But an overview of what? The one key concept that appears to be fairly universal when looking at business modeling deals with making sure value can be created. After reviewing several research studies, including several of their own, Osterwalder and Pignard identified the lack of clarity when defining business modeling and developed the business model canvas as a tool to help bring uniformity to this concept. As it has developed over time, one of the core concepts of this methodology has been to identify how value is created, delivered, and captured. So what is the business model canvas? The business model canvas is the visual core of the Osterwalder and Pignard business modeling concept. It uses a series of 9 boxes arranged in a simple pattern to help identify the potential components and outcomes of an idea, evaluate them, and help suggest alternatives. These boxes, or building blocks, include the value or offer, customer segments, channels and customer relationships, revenue streams, key activities, key resources, key partners, and cost structures. The idea of the canvas is to promote brainstorming for individuals or groups that allow for the creation of several business ideas, using several canvases or sticky notes if needed to help work through the idea visually. This process helps remind the developers of important concepts or building blocks, but lets them work through the who, what, why, and how of an idea without committing a lot of time to it. While many other models have similar components, the business model canvas is the most simplistic. For example, Leschke's business model map uses similar building blocks, but has expanded it to 16 ideas with 2 sets of arrows. While it offers more depth of information, it is harder to follow for the novice or anyone just looking for a starting point. The second strategic planning concept we will cover is the more traditional SWOT analysis. But what does SWOT stand for? The answer is simple: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The course text provides the simplest definition of this concept by discussing how strengths can be capitalized on, weaknesses overcome, opportunities captured, and threats defended against. This tool can be used as a method to improve organizations' performance both now and in the future. Strengths are what an organization does well. Weaknesses are what an organization does not do well, or areas where they have deficiencies. Opportunities are areas that an organization could take advantage of to help improve their product or meet a goal. Threats are obstacles that could impact an organization in a negative manner. Like the business model canvas, a SWOT analysis can be visual. This helps to understand how each section relates to the others. Strengths and opportunities are seen as positive areas, while weaknesses and threats are negative. From another perspective, strengths and weaknesses are seen as internal factors, while opportunities and threats are typically external factors. The business model canvas and the SWOT analysis share an important concept. This is that once you have built your canvas or filled in your SWOT, you must know how to interpret the data. Being able to understand this data will help an organization prepare to face the threats posed by the environment through the identification of its strengths and weaknesses. The Metrolina Healthcare Preparedness Coalition is an organization created to help facilitate and coordinate regional healthcare disaster preparedness between hospitals, EMS, public health, and emergency management. The MHPC covers a 13-county region that includes 21 hospitals, 11 EMS agencies, and the public health and emergency management offices in each county, as well as other entities like long-term care and education. The purpose is to ensure that healthcare infrastructure and services remain intact in the face of significant emergencies or disasters. The MHPC performs this task by utilizing federal grant funding to assist with planning, education, training, exercises, and providing resources to their regional partners. The MHPC also supports a warehouse full of disaster medical response resources and coordinates a volunteer disaster medical team. Because the MHPC is 100% funded by federal grant dollars, it has become more and more important to plan for how to use the funding. This is because the funding to support the program has been decreasing every year. To begin with, the MHPC had to establish what their value proposition was beyond just being a source of grant funding for regional projects. To do this, they implemented a business model canvas planning process. This visual shows some of the value proposition that the MHPC landed on, how they could deliver on them, and what would be needed. One of the biggest areas that came to light was the ability to be a source for information sharing and situational awareness between local, regional, and statewide entities. Once the MHPC staff and steering committee had settled on its business model, they conducted a SWOT analysis of their current operations to see if the business model and value could be implemented. This was done by spending a day reviewing plans, funding, gaps, and other documents. During the review, the staff used Post-its to note strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and then placed them on the wall. Once a stopping point was reached, the notes were organized. Areas that needed to be addressed were prioritized by whether or not they needed funding and when they should be addressed. The outcome of this process set the basis for the 2015-2016 MHPC grant application and work plan. Both the business model canvas and SWOT analysis are strategic planning tools that an organization can use to push themselves forward. Additionally, both tools are very flexible in their design so that they can fit any organization's needs. The visual design of each tool also makes it easier for an organization to implement. However, for an organization's use of these to be successful, they must also put effort into interpreting the results. In the end, there is no one way to complete either process, and no real right or wrong answers. Tools like this are meant to stimulate thought and conversation about an organization's current and future status.